guilty. Allegedly. At the time, I did believe it. I believed that they were innocent, but you look into it more, and you look into what the lover boy method is, and you look into what that is. They literally said that they were recruiting women.
The drama between internet personalities was about to reach a boiling point. It started when Sneako showed up at a celebration linked to Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate's arrest in Miami. But this moment was years in the making, particularly after an incident in early January. Andrew and Tristan were riding in a car with a fresh N-Fit member, and things took a turn when the controversial song Yeet Track was played. This song is often described online as one of the most heavily censored around, and it quickly sparked backlash. According to online chatter, the song was played both in the car and later in a club, and Sneako ended up taking the blame, even though some viewers claimed he wasn't the one who played it. Meanwhile, friends and allies of the Tate brothers, including Myron and his brother, were pushing the idea that they were being targeted by some kind of matrix. But Sneako wasn't buying it, openly disagreeing with that framing.
Have any more influence, bro. Nobody cares about them. They only go viral when they get arrested or when they try to blame me or they put allegations on me. That's it. Nobody is seeing their clips anymore. Nobody listens to them anymore. Their podcasts and their streams are the dumbest streams I've ever seen. It's talking about like Buddhism, Hindu. It's the stupidest ideology ever. They don't have influence. They're not targeted because of their influence. The Matrix is not attacking them because they're influencing young boys to become masculine. No, it's because they're a real these charges have been pending for years. You think that all 21 charges are completely fabricated? You're retarded. I mean, the people who still believe that are retarded. I think Riyadh, I don't think he's retarded. I think he's repeating what Myron is repeating. Myron is probably going to continue to defend Tate, because they're friends. But we got to be real. We have to be accurate, especially if we're going to be talking about politics. You can't hold specific biases towards that. And maybe I should have looked into that more back then, 4 years ago. And I didn't. I did believe they were my friends. But they're not being targeted because the Matrix is coordinated.
I strongly disagree with the idea that Andrew Tate's influence is waning. While he may not be as viral as he once was, he's still a household name and continues to get invited to high-profile events, like a recent bare-knuckle boxing match where he was reportedly taken into custody. As a global celebrity, he has a level of recognition that Sneako can't match. Sneako has even acknowledged this, saying that other guys only go viral when they're associated with him. But the truth is, figures like Andrew and Tristan Tate do have real influence, and many people online credit them with starting the Sneako wave. If someone wanted to challenge this movement, it would make sense to target the Tates, not Sneako. They have a massive following in the UK, which is why many people think they'd be the most likely to get targeted. Now, it's not just governments going after high-profile figures, but also district attorneys and lawyers who see the career benefits of taking down a big name. If an attorney or prosecutor could claim to have taken down the Tate brothers, it would be a huge career boost. Once the Tates are involved in a high-profile case, their names are immediately back in the spotlight. Sneako's recent claim that the Matrix is coming after him, not Tate, has added fuel to the fire. When people feel like a public figure is being singled out, every move is scrutinized, and the reaction becomes just as important as the event itself. This is why the debate around influence keeps coming back. Some see it as proof that the Tate name still carries weight, while others argue that the backlash only gives them more attention. By framing the pressure as personal, Sneako has added another layer to the discussion, making it about who holds the spotlight, who benefits from the attention, and why these names keep resurfacing in online controversies.
Want to know who the Matrix is conspiring and coordinating against? Me. Me. The Matrix is attacking me. Elon Musk tied up with Mossad. You have the richest guy in the world putting out information that's following Mossad propaganda that's being amplified by all these Mossad paid influencers to push for my
The claim that Andrew Tate's message has drastically changed doesn't hold up. When you look at him and his brothers, their core message has remained fairly consistent over the years. Andrew may have shifted in some ways, but he's essentially come full circle, pushing the same talking points he was a decade ago. He's currently focused on ideas like white people losing ground and demographics changing, which isn't far off from his earlier stance. Years ago, he was publicly supportive of Tommy Robinson, a figure known for hardline anti-immigration and anti-Muslim views. After converting to Islam during his arrest, Tate didn't exactly distance himself from his past views, but he also didn't drop that identity entirely. His message and persona have remained pretty steady. In contrast, Sneako is harder to pin down. He's evolved from the weed-smoking internet guy to someone trying to change his online image, which isn't always easy. The Tate brothers, on the other hand, didn't gain widespread recognition until their late 20s, after accumulating diverse experiences. Sneako's influence is largely based on visibility, but he lacks a solid, organized base that defines a movement. Some people describe him as an Islamist, while others are hesitant to label him at all. For comparison, someone like Mohammed Hijab in the UK has a more defined following, and some argue that he would be a more logical target for criticism. Then there's Nick Fuentes, who has a more established and, to some, concerning movement. The point is that these online circles can spill into real life, with followers showing up at events and organizing around a shared ideology. When someone is in their crosshairs, the backlash can go beyond the internet and cause real-world damage. Sneako, however, doesn't seem to be a major focus for governments, which allows him to move freely. He was one of the loudest defenders of Andrew and Tristan Tate when they were arrested, and it was a profitable position for him at the time. Since then, nothing significant has changed, and the conversation has been stuck on the same points. Now, it appears Sneako has simply moved on from the Tate brothers.
Allegedly. At the time, I did believe it. I believed that they were innocent, but you look into it more, and you look into what the lover boy method is, and you look into what that is. They literally said that they were recruiting women to pimp them out. They had a course talking about how you could become a pimp. Word for word, they just spell out exactly what the lover boy method is. They say, this is how you do it. If you want a girl to fall in love with you so that you could traffic her, buy my course and I'll teach you how. So first, you make her fall in love with you. You have sex with her. Then you program her. Then you take her passport. Then she's in love with you. Then you put her on OnlyFans. It's like, that's what the lover boy method is, word for word. That's what pimping is, allegedly. I don't know what I'm talking about, allegedly. To a T, that's exactly what pimping is, and they just did it online. And they did it in Europe with white women. Look at that too. You know what's so funny? Is that the Tate started grifting the white supremacists, like the white incels, the skin worshippers. They literally got rich pimping out European white women because they were better for money. Like, they made more money. Do you think that they were pimping out Asian girls and black girls? No, they moved to Romania because the crimes, they thought that we're gonna get away with it. They said, Romania's the third world country. I could be a mob boss. I'm a mafia. I could bribe the police. I'm like the cartel of Romania. That's why they moved there.
The real question is, what's left to investigate when all the information has been out there for a long time? Either he didn't look into it for 2 years and kept backing them anyway, which seems careless, or he knew the details and decided it was better for his career to support them regardless. If that's the case, many viewers see it as questionable, especially if he believed the allegations were serious and still chose to defend them. It looks like he either defended them for appearances or brushed it all aside and changed course later, which is why people are reacting strongly now. If he genuinely believed they were innocent, he should have stayed consistent with that position. This inconsistency is why the situation looks shaky, and people have noticed a shift over time. They think he may have crossed a line with those guys, which is why he's not on good terms with them now. From the way viewers describe it, they seem to throw him under the bus hard. You can see why they reacted that way, though, since people keep asking why he would put them in that position by playing that song. If he knew they wouldn't support that move, it only made the situation look worse. Many people believe Sneako played the song in the car, and from their point of view, it probably felt like he brought attention and controversy down on everyone involved. He got banned from clubs he wasn't even going to, and the relationship is clearly damaged. But that doesn't mean anyone has to accept the idea that they're responsible for anything else. That's a separate issue. Sneako claimed he was praying for this, which is why the reaction kept growing online. Once people felt he crossed that line, the situation stopped looking like a random club moment and started looking like a loyalty test. The argument spread fast, and what made it stick was the feeling that everybody in the circle was watching each other closely, waiting to see who would stand by who and who would distance themselves. In spaces like this, reputation moves quickly, and even a small decision can become a larger story about respect, trust, and who's really on whose side. Now, the tension is not just about one song or one night out. It's about how people online have started reading every move as a signal, and that's why the discussion around Sneako and the wider circle keeps getting sharper, not calmer.
Wallahi, I prayed for this. Wallahi, I just came back from Umrah. I was gonna do my intro a little longer. I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm too happy. A lot of news to cover, but Ummah, they're supposed to make prayer for a lot of things. I pray for, you guys know I pray for the Ummah, I pray for the martyrs, I pray for the people of Gaza. But for the personal things, I made specific dua that the enemies of Allah will be humiliated. And as soon as I touch down, he's wearing like this Waluigi fit and gets out of here. You're like, hey, top boy, you apologized for no reason. Sneako didn't. I'm sorry for the song. Turns out you don't need a fault. They're still gonna lock you up if you committed crimes. The Matrix attacked me. I'm influential. Nobody knows who you are. You have no more influence. You fell off completely. They're not locking you up because you're influential to the youth. They're locking you up because you're guilty. Have fun in prison.
Imagine this. Someone leaves New York City after constant online chatter, memes, and calls for his deportation. Then, he travels to a holy city and a sacred site tied to his faith. But instead of quiet contemplation, his mind is reportedly fixated on something else entirely, allegedly praying for Andrew Tate's downfall. His exact words were, "God, please let this man get arrested." This level of animosity is truly astounding. To stand in a peaceful, sacred place, surrounded by others in a meditative mood, and have your first thought be, "May God remove these guys," that is wild. It makes you wonder how deeply his rivals occupy his mind if this account is accurate. And on top of that, admitting to such a prayer isn't exactly a good look. Even if someone claims they wouldn't wish it on their worst enemy, the sentiment remains. If Tristan Tate genuinely believed the Tates were innocent, then even as rivals, there was no need to wish for their incarceration or deportation. That is a serious line to cross. Meanwhile, many online observers argue that the Tate brothers share some responsibility for their predicament. Viewers often suggest that with their kind of wealth, and believing governments were watching them, they should have simply stayed in Dubai and maintained a low profile. Even if it meant promoting their content, the goal should have been to keep moving freely, seeing their associates, and living life with that invaluable asset, freedom, the ability to walk around like anyone else. But critics say the Tates may have repeatedly fallen victim to their own hubris. They seem to believe they could move around without consequence, prompting questions about why they would even take such risks. Perhaps they relied on their connections, because few would willingly risk ending up back in jail. It's hard to understand why they continued to travel so extensively. Reports even claim a recent stretch saw them in places like Russia, Kazakhstan, and China. In fairness, such travel could make strategic sense, as it would be far more difficult for an arrest to be made and for extradition to occur in certain countries, especially those on the other side of the world. This contrasts sharply with the much stronger legal relationships between the UK and the US. The Romanian situation, however, has been less about definitive progress and more about allegations flying around with very little actually becoming public. It appeared to be dismissed repeatedly and never made it to trial. If this case finally plays out in court, it would at least offer people something concrete to examine. So much of the previous information came directly from material the Tates had posted online, which never presented them in a favorable light. Sneako, for example, claimed that at one point someone suggested they should have their passports taken. The Tates never openly admitted this, but online discussions suggest the larger issue was alleged pressure surrounding their entire setup. Many in their sphere promote a similar lifestyle, but not everyone faces the same legal troubles. This is where messy influence can escalate into something far more serious. If individuals are reportedly pressured into staying put or having their freedom limited, that can quickly lead to criminal allegations. Viewers have also speculated that jurisdiction might have been tied to the UK, especially since the first woman to raise concerns was reportedly from there, and the Tates later left the country. People also highlighted how the Tates repeatedly recounted parts of their legal saga within their own content, which many interpreted as another clear sign of overconfidence.